along Uganda Road. Even where we are, the county government offices are also placed around Uganda Road, and you can see the situation for yourselves. It's getting messy by the hour, Smriti. So that was one of their tactics, perhaps, to air their grievances or to get the attention that they need on this day by closing the access to and out of Eldoret town. And this has had a significant effect also to the response from the police. More reinforcement coming in from the deeper parts of Western County.
Lois Wangoi coming to us live from Eldoret, bringing us up to speed with what was happening there outside the county government of Uasin Gishu. On the right of your screen, we are seeing live shots from Nairobi. The latest information that we have coming to us in Nairobi is that a number of people have been left injured outside Parliament, about 4 or possibly more waiting to be evacuated by ambulances as they lie on the road. Earlier we spoke to NTV's Melita Oletenges, who reported to us at that moment that at least one person had been shot. We will connect with Melita to find out what the situation is like on the ground. At the moment on your screens you can see more protesters face to face with police there, and the scenes have been ugly today. The situation has gone out of control in a number of counties as Kenyans continue to protest against the finance bill. All right, when we can connect with Melita Oletenges, who is outside Parliament, we will. But just to paint a bigger picture and let you know how many counties out of the 47 have witnessed anti-finance bill protests today, the number stands at 34. That includes Nairobi, the capital city, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, Uasin Gishu, Nyeri, Meru, Laikipia, Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Nyandarua, Homa Bay, Siaya, Kisii, Nyamira, Kakamega, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, Bomet, Kericho, Baringo, Turkana, Samburu, Narok, West Pokot, Kajiado, Kwale, Tana River, Kilifi, Taita Taveta, Makueni, Machakos, Garissa and Marsabit. And we also are getting reports that one person has been shot dead and 3 others left with gunshot wounds in Isiolo town. They have been rushed to the Galaxy Hospital there in Isiolo town. The scenes earlier this afternoon from Parliament were chaotic as tens or possibly more, hundreds perhaps, of protesters managed to march onto Parliament Road in an attempt to access Parliament, which of course was being blocked by police officers, as that is where the members of Parliament are currently housed as they debate the amendments regarding the finance bill. Today the bill is before the committee of the whole House. We will get more information about what's happening inside Parliament later this afternoon. At the moment, MPs are currently on a lunch break, but outside Parliament, the scenes still are dramatic. Tear gas canisters have been blown, and currently several people are waiting for medical attention as police did fire live bullets, leaving at least one person shot. More on that in just a moment.
Jack, uko kwa shoti yangu.
Right, before we cross over to Kisumu, just an update about the situation in Nairobi outside Parliament. Our reporter, NTV's Melita Oletenges and also Zainab Ismail are in the area, and they have reported that the youth have brought a body to Parliament. Earlier, police did shoot at protesters, and we do have a report that a number of protesters have been injured. It's confirmed that at least one person has been shot, but we will update you as and when we get more information. Melita Oletenges now reports that the protesters have accessed the Parliament compound and shots have been fired. More from our team in Nairobi in just a moment, but let us take you to Kisumu now, where Oko Okusa can update us. Okusa, it's been dramatic and chaotic scenes in Nairobi. What's it been like in Kisumu?
That is exactly what is happening here in Kisumu too, Smitty. Even as we speak now, police have just dispersed a crowd here that was protesting along the Angawa street. And even in the background, you can hear police sirens. There's a police and cruiser almost emerging on a screen right now. And that has been happening since around midday, cat and mouse games, police chasing down protesters and dispersing them after a group tried to gain access at the local state lodge, and some also tried to invade the central police station here in Kisumu. And despite that, generally, the demonstrations have been largely peaceful, just protesting and marching across the streets, Kakamega, or Ginga Odinga Street, Kenyatta Avenue, Angawa Street. And that has been going on peacefully until around 1 o'clock when the protests turned a little chaotic after police moved in to disperse the protesters. So that is large and by what has been happening here. We've not received any reports of injuries or deaths. Therefore, so far, no reports of injuries or deaths. But we hope that the situation will not degenerate as it is right now. Earlier on, there were attempts by a section of the protesters to invade a local supermarket here, and that too was they were repulsed by police. And so that is largely what is happening. Peaceful in the morning, but now it is degenerating into cat and mouse games with the police and protesters meeting.
Okay, Okusa, thank you very much for that update. NTV's Oko Okusa coming to us from Kisumu, where things are largely peaceful, although by around lunchtime it did become slightly more hectic, as we have seen across the country today, the 25th day of June 2024. It is 3 o'clock. You're watching NTV, coming to you live from the Nation Centre and across the country. We are covering the anti-finance bill demonstrations. Thousands of Kenyans have hit the streets once again, exercising their democratic right and protesting against what they believe is extremely burdensome, the Finance Bill of 2024. On your screens, shots from Kisumu and also Nakuru, but it is being reported that there is a lot of chaos at Parliament here in the capital city. That is the building that is currently housing members of Parliament who are have been seated inside that building all morning, debating the amendments of the finance bill, and votes have been counted. However, outside Parliament, the scenes have been chaotic as protesters managed to access Parliament Road, and now we do have reports that they have managed to access the Parliament building. It is a dangerous situation on the ground, and we will get the very latest from our colleagues. Melita Oletenges is covering this, and Zainab Ismail, and we are getting reports of special forces shooting multiple shots and flags being pulled down, and that is what we can report at this point, and we will continue to bring you all the latest. It has been a hugely eventful day that began peacefully. However, it has descended into chaos in a number of counties where people are demonstrating, and we have witnessed scenes of violence and danger. We have updated you that a number of protesters have been injured outside Parliament as police shot live bullets. One person indeed was shot, possibly more, but we are yet to verify those facts and bring you the exact numbers. We will as and when we can. There we have NTV's Melita Oletenges outside Parliament, who in just a moment can likely update us on the difficult scenes. Behind him we can see security men on horseback as well, and protesters behind him. Melita, okay, he can't hear us at the moment. Melita, are you able to hear us?
Outside Parliament buildings, and I can report to you that Parliament is under siege. Protesters have managed to access Parliament buildings from near the Kenyatta Mausoleum. That is where they entered Parliament compound, and right after that we could hear multiple gunshots from inside the Parliament building. Earlier on we could see Parliament staff as well as leaders scampering for safety just inside Parliament, and those pictures you can see are just Parliament staff there. But as you can see on this other hand, those are protesters who have actually managed to enter the Parliament compound, and we also saw them pull down the national flag. And right there I can see a nominated member of Parliament from Baringo, Bishop Koskei there, being escorted by these protesters who are saying they come in peace, and they are marching towards the other side. This is the road that now leads behind Parliament and leads now to the chambers, and they are climbing out of Parliament now. There have been shots that have been fired multiple times from the compound. Earlier on, we saw special forces take point, and we have been able to see them also in their baklavas and masks. And I can see a protester there carrying what looks like a mace actually, but I'm not sure if it's the actual one, but it seems like he's carrying something there. But right inside Parliament, yes, I can see a protester carrying something there, which looks like a mace. Just to confirm this, it has the different, it has the different let's just take a step back here. Protesters had managed Parliament. They have swept through Parliament. As I say, they brought down some of the flags that were hoisted right outside the Parliament buildings. But it is unfortunate to report that we've also witnessed about 3 bodies lying on Parliament Road, and just a few moments earlier we also witnessed protesters carrying the body of one of the deceased towards the gate of Parliament. Those pictures you're seeing there are protesters now marching from Parliament. They had entered and some of them have gotten out, and they are here now protesting and singing. They are singing that they have managed to enter Parliament building. There has been quite an arrest. This is what they were aiming at in the first place, and they have been able to access Parliament. Police have completely retreated, and as from what we are observing right outside Parliament is that protesters have managed to enter from the gate that faces the Kenyatta Mausoleum, or just next to it, and they went through a section of Parliament, brought down some flags, and some of them were marching towards the other side of Parliament, but they were actually deterred and have now come out to this other side. It has been quite a fiery exchange. Protesters hurling stones, police officers lobbing tear gas canisters, and shortly after we witnessed live ammunition, which, as I've reported, have actually claimed the lives of different or several protesters here. This is a protester carrying a flag, I reckon. That is the flag of the Embu County, I think. I don't know how he got that, but he is carrying it. Protesters, a number of protesters, dozens of protesters still inside Parliament. And protesters next to me here are actually showing me live ammunition here, live bullets that they're saying they don't understand why police officers were actually shooting towards them. Unfortunate turn of events. Protesters have access, but unfortunately some of them have died in the exchange between police officers and protesters. We are right outside Parliament buildings. These are protesters showing me what is live ammunition that was used by police officers in that fiery exchange just right before they accessed Parliament. On this other side, if you can come with me, Fidel Nthiga, this is to show you just the scenes outside Parliament. Yes, police officers were just about 30 minutes ago fiery fight, but now they are actually a bit toned down, and we can see there has been sort of a ceasefire outside Parliament. But from inside Parliament, we can actually hear gunshots, we can hear the blasts of canisters, but outside there seems like there has been sort of a calm, and tensions have actually quelled a bit, because earlier on we could see police officers trying to lob tear gas canisters here, but ceasefire, I believe. And on this other side, you can see the machinery that was being used now actually has been parked. So protesters are literally having their way here in Parliament, inside Parliament and outside Parliament. Like I said, this was their goal from the word go, occupy Parliament, and their goal has been realized at the end of the day. Water cannons parked right outside Parliament, police officers also, just standing and watching the scenes as they unfold. And those are ambulances just rushing through this Parliament Road across. I think those are the ambulances that are going to actually carry the bodies of those that have unfortunately lost their lives in this particular events this afternoon. But yes, we are outside Parliament, I can report to you that protesters from the Occupy Parliament protest against the Finance Bill 2024 have managed to access Parliament, the Parliament compound, and a few moments ago we witnessed them bring down the national flag in Parliament, and staff from inside Parliament, workers, were actually just staring as the scenes unfold, even as police officers from what we believe are special forces fired rounds of ammunition to try and disperse, but they were targeted at protesters, and unfortunately a number of them have lost their lives. We also saw a protester's body was brought to Parliament, where members of Parliament had gathered outside. And from a distance, we can only show you that picture from a distance. That is a protester being carried by fellow protesters from the gates of Parliament into an ambulance that is waiting by. He has been draped in the very flag that was brought down from the poles of Parliament, the flags that had been hoisted outside Parliament. That is one of those flags, and the deceased is now draped in that particular flag. Protesters escorting their fallen comrade outside of this Parliament vicinity, and towards now that police lorry, an altercation there, a protester. The protesters, from what we see, are unarmed, and police officers are now sort of trying to drive off in that lorry, which is also known as Mariamu in what is the popular language amongst the youth. So, scenes from outside Parliament, I and my camera person, Fidel Thiga, take a quick breath. Back to you in studio, Smithy.
Melita and Fidel and all our teams on the ground, thank you so much for that update. Please do catch a breather and keep safe. You're watching NTV as we bring you these live pictures at 1:15 the hour. I am now joined by my colleague James Smart. James, absolutely incredible developments today.
Unprecedented since Smriti. From around 1400, about 2 p.m., things have been moving a bit much quicker after police ran out of tear gas and ammunition, and protesters essentially overwhelming the Parliament buildings. And these groupings, which have been from 11, beg your pardon, actually from 8 in the morning, really.
Right. I was at the office at 8, and from 8:45, that is when the chanting began and the tear gas started exploding. Yes,
and they have been streaming into the capital from 8 in the morning, making their way, building up the protests, as you are, and up to leading to this moment where Parliament has finally been breached. These groups on all streets of Nairobi. The pictures on your screen are just showing literally outside Parliament, where the protesters earlier on managed to enter Parliament. There have been reports of at least 1 person killed, confirmed by the Kenya Human Rights Commission, 3 others who were shot and injured. The pictures on your screen showing they're right outside Parliament again, where these running battles as police really struggling to try and maintain some sort of law and order, some sort of buffer between the protesters and the politicians who are holed up inside Parliament. Just remember that a few hours ago, members of Parliament did pass the finance bill on the committee stage, really getting the final stages of that finance bill. That has been the trigger, the catalyst that has gotten Kenyans riled up and Kenyans on the streets.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible. Hashtag Occupy Parliament. That indeed has been achieved. The police have clearly been overwhelmed and you could say overthrown as they seem to have exited the scene, at least from what we witnessed from here. But our reporters on the ground are actually saying that whilst protesters have been repulsed, because at one point they are approaching Parliament again. And it is also being reported that some members of Parliament have escaped to Bunge Towers through an underground channel. We will get more information on that when we can. And also we are aware that part of Parliament has been set alight. Flags have been torn down. A body of a protester was taken to Parliament and then draped in one of the flags. And Melita Oletenges also reported that 3 bodies were seen laying on Parliament Road. An absolutely tragic day.
Yes, the events there, part of Parliament has a fence that has been breached, cordoned off by the police at least earlier on. This Parliament building is sort of like a connected building, and the part where, all the legislation goes on is one part connected to another smaller part where the offices are, and then now to the Bunge Towers, which is the adjacent building that's just been built where houses the offices of the members of Parliament. They're all interconnected buildings. What has happened in the last hour or so is that members of Parliament who are inside the chambers of Parliament and also the grounds of Parliament have managed to make their way to Bunge Towers in these sort of connected buildings. As the protesters, it became clear that the protesters were breaching the gates and the fences of Parliament. But if you look at the situation outside, it looks a little